I'm 78 years old. I'm not a doctor, naturopath, or health expert. I'm just an elderly person who, for years, believed discomfort was an inevitable part of aging. I'm talking about that feeling many of us know. You get out of bed, and suddenly everything spins. The floor seems to shift beneath your feet. You're short of breath for a few seconds and have to stand still, waiting for it to pass. For months, I woke up like this, dizzy, my head foggy, my legs weak. Sometimes, I could barely make it to the bathroom without leaning on the walls. My family told me it was normal, that at my age, the body doesn't work the same. The doctors didn't offer much clarity either. They prescribed more pills, one for blood pressure, another for circulation, another for sleep. But deep down, I knew this wasn't living. I didn't want to spend my final years like this, afraid of falling, afraid to go for a walk, afraid to get out of bed. Then something unexpected happened. One ordinary afternoon, while having tea at an old friend's house, he offered me a drink he made himself. "Try it," he said. "It's not a miracle, but it helped me." I wasn't hopeful, but I accepted out of politeness. The drink was simple, made with ingredients anyone has at home. I didn't know then that this plain glass, so natural, would be the first step toward a profound change in my body. I won't lie, it wasn't overnight. But after a week, I started noticing something. I got up with more stability, the dizziness faded, and within a few more days, it was completely gone. I walked with confidence again, feeling my body stronger, more awake. That's why I'm here today, not to sell you anything or promise miracles, but to share what worked for me. I want to show you what was in that drink, how you can make it at home, and why it might help clear your arteries and stop those annoying morning dizzy spells. But before I go on, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments how old you are and where you're from. I love reading them. It helps me know who I'm talking to today. Get ready, because what you're about to hear could change more than just your mornings. It all started with small signs. Nothing dramatic, nothing urgent. A slight dizziness when I got out of bed. A feeling that the room spun the moment I opened my eyes. I thought it was from getting up too fast. "Slow down," my daughter told me. "That's normal at your age," I kept hearing, so I brushed it off. But the signs persisted. Some days, when I stood up from the couch, a haze clouded my eyes. I had to blink several times to clear my vision. Some mornings, I felt weak, drained, like I hadn't slept, even if I'd rested well the night before. I even noticed my legs trembling slightly when standing too long, but it didn't hurt much, so I let it slide. My family wasn't concerned. They said it was just aging, that everyone goes through it eventually. Even my general practitioner said it was the body's natural wear and tear. He upped my blood pressure pill dosage and told me to move more. Trusting doctors know best, I went home thinking everything was under control. How wrong I was. One day, I got a real scare. It was a morning like any other. I got up, went to the bathroom, and stepped into the shower. Everything was fine until I stepped out. The moment my feet hit the floor, my body felt heavy, like all my energy had drained. My head spun. I grabbed the towel rack just before collapsing. I stood there, shaking, stark naked, waiting for it to pass. Breathing deeply, I couldn't stabilize. It took several minutes to regain some strength and sit on the bed's edge. That day, I knew something was wrong. That's when I started asking questions. Why does my body react like this? What's failing inside? I began researching, reading, and asking around, and one word kept coming up: circulation. Circulation keeps every part of our body alive. It's the system that delivers blood, oxygen, and nutrients to our organs. If circulation fails, the body slowly shuts down. With age, our arteries often harden, narrow, or clog with debris like cholesterol. This makes blood flow sluggish, leading to dizziness, weakness, and blurry vision. Silent warnings that something inside is stalling. No one explained it like that. No one told me my issue wasn't just age but the health of my arteries. Once I understood, I knew I couldn't wait for things to worsen. I had to act. That's when I remembered the natural drink my friend offered, and I decided to try it seriously. But before I get to that, I want you to understand what's happening in your body and why this drink can make a difference. The truth about morning dizziness. Do you know what that dizziness when you stand up is called? It has a name, orthostatic dizziness. It sounds complex, but it's simple. It happens when your blood pressure drops suddenly upon standing. Blood doesn't reach your brain fast enough, causing instability, blurry vision, or even fainting in severe cases. This issue often affects older adults. After 65, the body doesn't regulate pressure as well. When we were young, our nervous system adjusted pressure quickly when we changed positions. But with time, that system slows, becomes clumsy. Blood doesn't flow to the brain as it should, and that's when the spinning starts. Here's the key point. Orthostatic dizziness isn't a disease, it's a symptom. It signals a deeper issue in your circulatory system. Often, the real problem lies in the arteries. As we age, arteries lose flexibility, no longer expanding and contracting easily. They become stiff, like rusted pipes. Worse, arteries can clog with deposits like cholesterol, fat, and calcium, forming plaques that narrow blood flow. It's as if the channels of life slowly clog. When these plaques build up, blood struggles to circulate freely. This means the heart works harder, but sometimes it can't pump blood with enough pressure, especially when standing. That's where the dizziness comes from. It's not just a momentary pressure drop, it's a sign of a system slowly faltering. Medications can help. Some regulate blood pressure, others improve heart rhythm. But here's an uncomfortable truth. Drugs don't always fix the root issue. They can sometimes worsen it. Many hypertension meds lower pressure, but if you're already having sharp drops when standing, that can amplify dizziness. Plus, medications rarely restore artery elasticity or clear plaques. They manage symptoms but don't regenerate blood vessels or fundamentally improve circulation. That's why so many older adults, even on pills, still feel dizzy, tired, or unsteady when walking. I didn't understand this years ago. I just knew I felt weak. But once I realized what was happening inside, it all made sense. My body wasn't giving up, it was warning me something wasn't flowing right. That's when I started seeking alternatives, not to replace medical treatments but to complement them with something that addressed the root issue. The health of my arteries, the path to a natural solution. After months of near-daily dizziness, relying on walls for balance, and taking pills that only maintained or worsened things, I felt deep frustration. I followed the doctor's orders to the letter. Pills morning, noon, and night, low-salt diet, walking a bit daily, though it got harder. Yet the symptoms persisted. I felt like a ship adrift. I knew something was wrong, but no one seemed to know how to fix it. I began wondering if this was truly inevitable. Was it the price of aging, or was I missing something? At that age, you start doubting everything, even modern medicine, not out of rebellion but because, after trying so much without results, your body begs for other paths. That's when I started searching for solutions on my own. I spent hours reading, not complex medical studies, but simple things. Articles on natural health, stories from seniors like me, forums where people shared experiences. I wasn't after a magic cure, just something to help my body regain balance, something not in a box of 30 pills. I also began talking more with other seniors, at the park, church, even the pharmacy. I learned that many suffered from morning dizziness, weak legs, and constant fatigue. But some had found relief in methods I'd never considered. Teas, natural juices, dietary changes, gentle breathing exercises. And in one of those conversations, something life-changing happened. I ran into Arthur, an old friend I hadn't seen in over 20 years. We met by chance at a local bakery. I recognized him instantly, though his hair was grayer. What struck me was his energy. He walked upright, with a steady stride, like he was 20 years younger. We sat down to chat, and naturally, I shared what I was going through. Arthur listened intently, didn't interrupt or judge, just nodded until I finished. Then he said something unexpected. I had the same issue, but a natural drink helped more than any pill. At first, I thought it was just talk, but Arthur was serious, and his transformation was clear. He explained how he made a blend of ingredients that improved circulation, cleared arteries, and restored mental clarity and leg strength. I'm not naive. At my age, I've learned not everything natural is miraculous. So I didn't get my hopes up, but I decided to try it. I had nothing to lose. It was just a drink made from kitchen staples. He said to take it daily for a few weeks and observe. So I did. I didn't expect much, just hoping for less frequent dizziness or steadier legs. But what happened was far more. What's in the drink? The ingredients are added one by one. When Arthur told me what was in the drink, I was surprised. It wasn't a secret formula or some magic powder bought online. It was a mix of ingredients that most people have at home. Yet, when combined, something powerful happens. Today, I'll tell you exactly what's in this drink, what each ingredient does, and why together they act like a balm for your arteries, circulation, and mental clarity. First, lemon. Lemon isn't just for seasoning fish or making lemonade. It's a powerhouse fruit, rich in vitamin C, antioxidants, and compounds that reduce inflammation in blood vessels. It also detoxifies the liver and cleans the blood. Its natural acidity helps dissolve fat deposits in arteries, improving blood flow. Second, garlic. This is one of the oldest heart health remedies. Garlic contains allicin, a compound with vasodilating effects, meaning it helps arteries relax and widen, easing circulation and lowering blood pressure. It also clears small cholesterol deposits from the artery walls. Third, ginger. Ginger is anti-inflammatory, boosts circulation, and soothes the digestive system. What caught my attention was its mild anticoagulant effects, thinning the blood slightly to reduce clot risks that can cause dizziness or worse. It's also great for calming nausea and that unsteady feeling when standing quickly. Fourth, turmeric. Turmeric, that golden root, has been used for centuries in traditional medicine. It contains curcumin, a potent anti-inflammatory compound. Why does this matter? Chronic inflammation, especially in blood vessels, is a major cause of arterial damage. Turmeric keeps arteries youthful, flexible, and clean. Fifth, apple cider vinegar. It's acidic but has an alkalizing effect in the body. It helps regulate blood sugar, improve digestion, and break down fat buildup. It's also linked to better arterial health by removing toxins. Many take it in warm water in the morning, but combined with these ingredients, its effect is amplified. Lastly, honey. Honey isn't just a natural sweetener. It's antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and energizing. It softens the strong flavors of the other ingredients while providing a quick, healthy energy source. It also calms the digestive system and boosts nutrient absorption. What happens when you combine them? The result is synergy. Each ingredient has its role, but together, their effect multiplies. Circulation improves, arteries clear naturally, blood pressure stabilizes, and your body regains the balance you thought was gone. Here's something curious. This drink isn't new. For generations, cultures worldwide, from Ayurvedic medicine in India to folk recipes in Eastern Europe and Latin America, have used similar blends. They've helped millions improve circulatory health without chemicals. Modern medicine is just starting to study these ingredients deeply, but our grandparents already knew their power. Sometimes, the most potent wisdom lies in simplicity, in nature, in what's worked for centuries. How to make it step by step. Now that you know the ingredients and their roles, it's time to learn how to make this drink that helped me so much. You don't need fancy tools or rare ingredients. Just patience, attention to detail, and consistency. Grab a pen and paper or pause this video to get ready, because I'll explain it slowly, step by step. Ingredients: 4 medium lemons, 4 fresh garlic cloves, a thumb-sized piece of ginger, 1 heaping teaspoon of turmeric powder, or a small root if available, 3 tablespoons of organic apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of pure honey, half a liter of water. Step 1. Prepare the ingredients. Wash the lemons thoroughly. I use them with a peel, but if you have a sensitive stomach, peel them. Cut into medium chunks and remove seeds if possible. Peel the garlic cloves and ginger. If using turmeric root, peel a 1-inch piece. Step 2. Blend or process. Place the lemons, garlic, ginger, and turmeric in a blender or food processor. Add half a glass of water to help blend. Process until you get a thick mixture. This step might leave a strong smell in the kitchen, especially from the garlic, But trust me, it's worth it.
Step 3. Strain and heat.
Pour the blended mixture into a pot with the remaining water to make half a liter. Heat on very low, not letting it boil. When it starts to steam lightly, turn off the heat. This softens the flavor and blends the components without destroying the garlic or honey's properties, which we'll add next. Step 4. Add the final ingredients. Once the liquid is warm, add the apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of honey. Stir well to combine. Honey shouldn't be added when hot, as it loses its benefits. Step 5. Strain, optional, and store. Strain the mixture if you don't like fibers, or leave it thicker if you prefer. Store in a glass jar with a lid in the fridge. It lasts about 5 to 7 days if refrigerated properly. How to take it? Simple. 1 tablespoon on an empty stomach daily. If you're stomach sensitive, take it after breakfast. You can dilute it in half a glass of warm water if the flavor's strong. I started with half a tablespoon daily, and after a week, I felt confident to increase it. Tips to improve taste or effect. If it's too strong, add a bit more honey or fresh mint leaves when serving. You can also drink it warm like tea, especially in winter. Sometimes, I add a pinch of cinnamon, which aids circulation and adds a pleasant aroma. Important warnings. Though natural, this drink isn't for everyone. If you're on blood thinners, check with your doctor, as garlic and ginger can enhance their effect. It's not recommended for active stomach ulcers or severe reflux. If you're allergic to any ingredient, don't take it. If you're on blood pressure or heart meds, consult your doctor before adding any natural remedy. It's not inherently dangerous, but it might amplify treatment effects, requiring adjustments. I didn't stop my meds overnight. I observed how I felt and later discussed changes with my doctor. That's the safe way. Changes I noticed. I started this routine with low expectations. You know how it is. You try things, hear advice, but doubt it'll work. This time was different. It wasn't a magic cure, but small signs early on caught my attention. Days 1 to 3. A lighter body. The first thing I noticed was that my legs felt lighter walking around the house. Before, standing up felt like dragging sandbags on my ankles. By day 3, I walked down the hall with less effort, no pausing at the kitchen. That constant brain fog, like I was half asleep all day, started clearing. I felt more awake, eager to do simple things. Organize a drawer, buy bread, call a friend. Small details, but they meant a lot to me. Days 4 to 7. Dizziness gone. Until that week, every time I got out of bed or off the couch, that dizzy jolt hit, forcing me to sit back down or hold the wall. But by the end of week 1, one morning I got up. No dizziness, no wobbling, no need to sit again. I walked straight to the bathroom and only realized later, while washing my face, that something had changed. That was the moment I knew this drink was doing something real. It wasn't a one-off. The next days, I kept getting up steadily, confident. I didn't need to sit on the bed for minutes before standing. I felt stable, present, like I hadn't in years. Week 2. Steadier pressure and surprises. By week 2, changes piled up. My blood pressure stabilized. I check it every few days with a home monitor. It used to spike and dip, worrying me, but now it was steadier, closer to ideal for my age. I also noticed better digestion. Meals didn't leave me bloated. I slept better, without that discomfort waking me at night. Most curiously, palpitations that hit at dusk when I read or watched TV vanished. That chest thumping, though painless, used to worry me. It wasn't magic, it was consistency. If you expect miracles in 2 days, you'll be frustrated. It's not a potion, it's a process of listening, observing, and staying steady. Every morning, same time, calmly, no skipping doses. I made other changes too. More water, less salt, a bit more movement. But the key was discipline, taking it daily with faith and commitment. Friends say, "You got lucky with that recipe." I don't see it as luck. I see it as a choice, an act of self-care, telling my body, "I hear you, I'm here, I want to help you feel better." At my age, that's worth more than any medicine, because you learn health isn't regained in a flash. It's cultivated daily, like a garden you water, even before the flowers bloom. What does science say about this mix? When I started feeling better, I wondered if it was just a coincidence. But I wanted to understand why it worked. I'm no doctor or scientist, but I like knowing the why. So I read, asked questions, looked up studies, and what I found blew me away. This drink isn't magic or superstition. It has scientific backing. Many of its ingredients have been studied by universities and doctors worldwide. Let's start with a star ingredient: garlic. It's not just a tasty seasoning. It's one of nature's most powerful remedies. Researchers at the National Institutes of Health in the US and European universities found that garlic can lower blood pressure in older adults. Not instantly, but with steady use, it can mimic the effects of mild hypertension drugs.
How?
It dilates blood vessels, boosts circulation, and eases heart strain. Garlic sulfur compounds, like allicin, act as antioxidants, fighting age-related damage, stiff arteries, plaque buildup, and chronic inflammation. It's not just tradition. Science backs it. But the mix doesn't stop there. Another key player is turmeric. Turmeric, that golden root, has been used for centuries in Indian medicine. Modern science is catching up to that ancient wisdom. Studies show curcumin, turmeric's active compound, has strong anti-inflammatory effects. Many issues in seniors, joint pain, heart disease, cognitive decline, stem from silent inflammation. Curcumin also improves blood vessel lining function, aiding circulation and lowering cardiovascular risks. No wonder ancient cultures revered it. So why aren't these ingredients standard in medical treatments? Good question. Modern medicine, with all its advances, often overlooks the past. It focuses on drugs, pills, quick fixes, sometimes ignoring simple, natural recipes that have served humanity for centuries. It's not that one is wrong and the other right. Both have a place. Some cases need drugs, surgery, or urgent intervention. But the body also responds well to natural care, nutrition, rest, movement, and yes, ingredients like garlic, ginger, honey, or turmeric. I didn't ditch my doctor visits. I still get checkups, tests, and monitoring, but now from a different place. I no longer feel solely dependent on prescriptions. I feel I have the tools in my kitchen to improve my quality of life. That changes everything. The key is balance, not rejecting modern medicine or idolizing natural remedies as infallible. It's about blending the best of both, using science to understand what our grandparents knew, valuing wisdom long ignored. This drink isn't a miracle, but it shows answers are sometimes closer than we think. The difference between aging and giving up. For years, I thought feeling tired, dizzy, or drained was just aging, and I didn't question it. Neither did anyone else. My family said, "Dad, you're not up for much anymore." I nodded. Friends shared their aches like badges of honor, part of an inevitable fate. I believed it too. Then I realized something crucial. Aging is natural, giving up isn't. There's a huge difference between accepting age with dignity and resigning to decline like there's nothing to do. Yes, the body changes. I don't run like before, I'm not as strong as at 40, I don't sleep like when I was young. But that doesn't mean all is lost. It means I need to care more. Pay attention, eat better, move mindfully. I remember a moment that marked this shift. It was a Saturday morning. My grandson invited me for a park walk. I used to say no, my legs hurt, the heat got to me, I'd get dizzy. I always had an excuse, scared I couldn't keep up. But that day, I said yes. I'd been taking the drink for weeks, feeling steadier, getting up easier, so I decided to try. We put on hats, brought water, and went. At first, I was cautious, step by step, but soon I noticed no dizziness, no heavy head, no annoying vertigo. Then something I hadn't felt in ages happened. Confidence. We walked farther than I expected. We played a game counting squirrels, and talked about his school drawings. He grabbed my hand and said, "Grandpa, you're stronger today." I smiled, not because I'd regained youth, but because I'd regained something bigger, confidence in myself. That day back home, I sat in my armchair and thought, I wasn't old, I was neglected. I'd neglected my power to decide, try, and seek alternatives. I'd convinced myself nothing could be done when I could do so much. And I'm not just talking about a drink, I'm talking about attitude. Asking myself each morning, what can I do for myself today? What small change can I make? What part of my body needs more care, attention, respect? When you care for yourself out of love, not obligation, everything shifts. Aging doesn't mean stopping life. It means living differently, maybe slower, but deeper, with more intention, gratitude. It means realizing wellness isn't just for the young, that feeling good has no age, that you can always improve a bit, even if it's just breathing better, sleeping better, walking steadier, or smiling more. To those feeling it's not worth trying anymore, I say it is. Not to turn back time, but to move forward better. At your pace, in your time, but with resolve. It's not too late, you're not alone, you're not done, you're alive. And as long as there's life, there's a chance to improve. One question I get a lot since sharing this drink is, how did you stick with it? It's a great question, because most of us have tried diets, routines, or tips that start strong but fade. This time was different, not because the drink was magical, but because I saw it as daily care, like washing my face or brushing my teeth, simple but steady. At first, like any change, it was tough. Some days I forgot, others I thought, if I skip today, I felt fine yesterday. But then I'd recall how I felt before, the dizziness, weak legs, that annoying ear buzzing for no reason. So I did something simple. I made it part of my morning routine. After waking, I'd wash my face, sit in the kitchen, and prepare my glass. No time to doubt, it became a familiar dance. Some call it habit stacking, tying a new behavior to an automatic one. Another trick helped, a photo on my fridge. It was my grandson I walking in the park that day I told you about. Below, I wrote in marker, do it for this. Every morning, seeing it reminded me why I started. Not for trends or duty, but for me, my life, my moments. To stay on track, I used small hacks, a paper calendar where I marked each day I took it. Seeing those marks by week's end gave me pride, and when tempted to quit, I'd think, will I break my streak now? After 3 months, the habit was set. My body craved it. The best part? The results were so clear that I needed no more motivation. I no longer got up slowly, fearing the world would spin. I stood with strength. Walks got longer, digestion lighter, that constant fatigue gone. I didn't need to sit mid-morning to catch my breath. I wasn't afraid to go out alone anymore. Compared to before, I was a new man. I used to live with a nagging sense that something was wrong. Not pain, but like my body was fading slowly. Now, something inside had reignited. Not euphoria, but clarity, a quiet wellness in every step. Amazingly, it all started with a simple morning glass. So if you're thinking of trying it, don't see it as a miracle cure. See it as a daily gift, a way to tell yourself each morning, I'm here and I deserve care. Make it part of your life, not a chore, but an act of self-love. Because the habits that change your life aren't loud, they quietly become who you are. What started as a daily glass became a rebirth. I never imagined something so simple could have such an impact. Not only did the dizziness, fatigue, and constant buzzing vanish, but I felt in charge of my body, my days, my energy, like time had given me a truce. I'm not here to promise miracles. I'm not saying this drink cures all. But if you're struggling like I was, if mornings are hard, if your body feels sluggish, give it a shot. Sometimes, the first step to feeling better isn't a complex recipe or pricey machine, but a small choice. Start caring for yourself naturally, simply, daily. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried a natural remedy that truly changed your health or life? Share it in the comments. I'd love to read and learn from you. And if you know an older person dealing with morning dizziness, share this video. You might do more for their health than you realize. Thanks for being here. See you next time.